Hi class, it's Dr. Smith. This is the video I promised you all about the essay paper. However, I didn't get any questions from anyone, so I'm assuming everybody is pretty stable on the content. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about some mechanics of the paper. So as the learning unit suggests, you should come to the essay paper tab. So here on the side, on the blue bar where it says essay paper, come to this tab so you can see what prompts, and hopefully by now you've chosen a prompt, but what prompts there are to choose from. I tell you where each prompt comes from in the book so you can have an idea. And then I tell you what goes into each section of the paper. So for Sunday, the introduction is due. Then in a few weeks, there'll be the literature review. After that, the implications and conclusions, and then the final draft of the paper. And so what is important first to know is that for each section, I'm asking for just that section. You'll put it all together for the final draft, but for what you turn into me right now, I don't need to read anything extra. I just want to see that section. I'll give you feedback on that section, and then you can be prepared to go for your final draft. As this says in big red letters, the final draft has to be an update to receive points. If you just put all the different pieces together, you will not receive points. I give you a lot of thorough feedback, so I really want you to follow that feedback. Now I want to go back up here to how to use Google Scholar. So you can use Google Scholar to find your resources, and you can also use the library's website. In your freshman seminar class, they went over how to use the library's website. This particular tab goes over how to use Google Scholar. So I'm not going to do that here. I'm going to keep this fairly brief because, like I said, you guys didn't really ask me any questions. So I'm just going to touch on the things that I noticed, and I want to make sure you don't fall into the pitfalls of. Now, when we scroll down here, this tells you to use the other resources. You can find those back over here on this blue bar. So essay writing resources. The APA style guide. So you've already done an APA tutorial. This is another refresher. You can also go back and do the tutorial. That learning unit is still visible for you up here. That includes the tutorial so that you always have access to it. One of the things that, and then the guidelines to writing a psychological essay come from my experience with some of the ways that students go wrong. So make sure you look over that. And then the plagiarism guide is important because APA style employs a particular way to avoid plagiarism. So I want you to be sure of what that is in the plagiarism guide, very short Word document that it tells you exactly what that is. But also, since this is not a face-to-face class, I have not had a chance to talk to you about Safe Assign. Safe Assign is a tool in Blackboard to help you see if there's any plagiarism in your document. So I want you to upload your paper as early as you can to see if there's any plagiarism, and then you can correct that plagiarism and upload the assignment again. I only grade the most recent upload, so you don't have to tell me you uploaded it 15 times and only grade the last one. I always grade the most recent upload. And so when you look at Safe Assign, I want you to make sure you don't see any plagiarism in the meat of your paper. So for your introduction section, all you'll have is the introduction. You won't have a reference page, which means any plagiarism you see is real plagiarism that you need to go back and fix. Always summarize in your own words and properly cite. So use the APA tools to know how to properly cite, but you can also use the paper examples. Now, when we go to the paper examples, these are papers that students have done. They are not perfect, so you can't just look at this paper and say, I'm going to do my paper exactly like this paper and then I'm done. You'll still need to have the APA formatting information, and you'll need to follow my instructions that I give under the essay paper tab. So a couple of extra things I will add here. This paper is sort of like an argument in a courtroom where you're always providing evidence for what you are presenting. So this paper, you should not be saying, in my opinion, I think, I feel, I believe. This is not a paper that comes from your perspective so much as it a paper where you are providing evidence to support how you are answering the prompt. So like I said, no, in my opinion, no, I think, just use the literature to display the evidence for whatever your argument is. You want to make sure that every paragraph has a citation from the literature. So when I say literature, I mean the journal articles, the psychological journal articles that support what your argument is. In addition to that, there should be articles included. So empirical journal articles included. So those are peer-reviewed journal articles. So not websites, newspapers, but peer-reviewed journal articles. You can supplement with websites and newspapers, but you want to make sure the bulk of your argument comes from peer-reviewed journal articles. And so once again, that means every paragraph you write has some type of citation in it, because none of this is supposed to just be your opinion. It is the answer to the question supported by the literature. So keep that in mind. And make sure you look over these essay writing resources just to be clear on what makes for a good, solid paper. And so hopefully you can see here at the bottom of the screen that is downloaded. I think if I open it up, I'll have to switch the sharing, and that might get a little complicated. So I want to keep the video as simple as possible. But look at those writing guidelines. I still will have the weekly check-in on Thursday at 12:15 to 12:45. So you can come to my office hours today. They're happening right now. You can come to my office hours tomorrow, or you can just come to the check-in tomorrow at 12:30. If you have any questions outside of those times, make sure to get the questions into me by Friday. Make sure you've looked over everything that you need to, so you're square on how to write this paper before the weekend, because as I put on Blackboard, I'm not answering emails or course messages. When I say emails, I mean course messages. I'm not answering them over the weekend. So make sure you're ready to go before the week is up and that you're doing a good job. And also keep in mind, the introduction, very short. Give me what I asked for. I'm not asking for you to write 15 pages for an introduction, not at all. But I still want you to have an idea of what your paper is going to look like, because this introduction is introducing this future paper. So even though you haven't written it yet, you still want to have a good solid introduction. So once again, read through. Let's go back. Read through everything here to give yourself a good idea of what this paper should look like. Get yourself started on this paper, and don't do anything last minute, so you can make sure you receive all of your points. When I give you feedback, give me 1 to 2 weeks to grade all of these assignments. When I give you feedback, don't take it personally if it seems like it's a little harsh. I just want to tell you exactly what you need to know to write a good paper. Writing papers is a very large part of psychology as a discipline. We are the scientists who know how to write, so I want to make sure you know how to write. So when I give you feedback, it's straight to the point. It's instruction on how to be better. It is not personal at all, so do not take it that way. Take it as a good way to know how to improve your writing. Once again, come to my office hours if you have any questions. Send me course messages before the week is up, or before the work week is up, and I will get back to you. I hope this means you guys know what you're doing, since I haven't heard from you. And good luck, and I can't wait to read them.